Entanglements and falls are the leading causes of injuries on playgrounds. It is estimated that emergency departments see more than 20,000 children ages 14 and younger for playground-related injuries each year. In order to prevent serious injuries and liabilities, it is important for public entities to develop and adhere to a routine playground audit and inspection program. It is recommended that public entities follow standards set by ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, ASTM, International Standards Worldwide, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission for playground inspections. VMLIP safety consultant Edward Shelton, who has a certified playground safety inspection designation from the National Recreation and Park Association, frequently inspects playgrounds for VMLIP members. Recently, he visited Richardson Park in the city of Lexington to review their playground inspection program.
Kids are going to fall, they're going to scrape their arms, they're going to get little cuts on their face. What these inspections are set to do, they're to prevent, the life-altering injuries, the trauma, the head injuries, the deaths, the falls.
In addition to preventing major injuries, regular inspections of wear and tear on equipment is critical toward ensuring safety. The City of Lexington inspects their parks regularly and performs a detailed inspection annually. Brian Cruz, a crew leader for the city, met with Shelton to discuss their playground maintenance.
Annually, they take all the reports and kind of put everything together, and then they'll kind of go with a improvements list, so to speak, and then they'll go at each park and start with the worst or the worst condition things that we have and try to start replacing everything kind of one by one.
The most serious hazards to inspect for and prevent on playgrounds are entanglement hazards. Shelton utilizes special measuring gauges to inspect areas where entanglements may occur.
What you want to have is something like this where a child is obviously going to be expected to climb up and down this. If a child were to fall or try to go through it, what you don't want to have happen is a child go through here with their body and their legs and then their head get caught up. That's where most deaths on playgrounds actually happen, is through entanglements. So what this does, this measures if their torso can fit, and obviously you can see clearly that the torso can fit very easily through this. What you don't want to have then happen is their head get caught in it. So then this gauge would go through to verify that the kid can actually get all the way through without having their head get caught up and creating a larger hazard.
Additional tools are designed to ensure that fingers don't get caught up in moving parts on the playground.
So what you don't want to have happen is a child get their hands caught in any kind of moving equipment. So what this does, this kind of measure their common shear. So like in between here where you have two moving parts, you want to make sure that a child's finger can't get caught in there. So this right here allows you to demonstrate that a child's finger can't get caught while manipulating the equipment.
Falls are the leading cause of injury and second leading cause of death among children in playground incidents. Every playground inspection should include a thorough review of the guardrails and barriers to ensure that they will prevent falls. Requirements differ based on whether the equipment is designed for 2 to 5-year-olds or 5 to 12-year-olds. Slides are a common piece of equipment on playgrounds and should be maintained appropriately.
So with slides, the first thing I'm looking for is the distance off of the end of the slide. I want to make sure that there's a good use zone so that if a piece of equipment is right here, when a kid comes down the slide, I don't want them going into a different kind of hazard. Also with slides off to the side of each one of the outside runs here, there needs to be a clearance space of 21 inches, and that's to prevent the kid, when they go down hands up, that they aren't smacking into obstructions as they go down the slide.
Slides should also be inspected for cracks, particularly in the curves leading to the landing. Connection points should also be inspected, as slides are frequently the most used pieces of equipment on the playground.
Another big piece is looking at how the slide's connected to the actual framework itself. You want to make sure that the connections are they're in place, they're snug, and you're not creating any kind of hazard with entanglements. You also want to make sure that the child has a way to hold on while they get in the seated position, and at that point you're kind of helping them access the slides more safely.
Swing seats should be at least 12 inches above the surface. S-hooks used to hold swings should have an opening no wider than 0.04 inches, or about the thickness of a dime. Swings should be at least 24 inches apart and 30 inches from their supporting structures.
There's a couple of things with swings you want to look for, but you'd want to look for the openings on the S-hook. to make sure that the swing actually can't come off of the S-hook. You guys have actually done a good job, taking that hazard completely away. The one things up there you want to be looking for is, signs of rust, signs of, the bolts coming off. Also, within one bay of a swing, you cannot have more than 2 swings.
The City of Lexington has installed rubber mats on top of mulch chips to help keep them into place, maintaining a cushion underneath the swings.
Typically is what we found, placing the mats on top tend to hold the chips in place a lot better than the old method of placing the mats underneath the chips. And it's actually a better surface, a safer surface for the children. But it's really easy to walk around visually with your eyes and see, hey, like you can kind of see the settling there. And for some reason, it dissipates the moisture a lot better than if you just have a hole and no mats. And then even the wind, on a good windy day in the summer when the chips are dry, they do blow. But it seems like the mats lock everything in place, and we've been really pleased with that new method.
Protrusions, which can be any part of playground equipment which juts out beyond adjacent surfaces, can be dangerous. While many can be safe, those that could penetrate a child's skull or eyes, or those that could bruise or rupture an internal organ, are dangerous and should be removed. Additionally, it is important to monitor equipment for signs of regular wear and tear, particularly areas such as nuts and bolts and washers used to hold equipment together.
The chain itself, showing some signs, of age,
Right.
but the connection itself, it still looks brand new. So you can tell you guys are doing, replacing them.
Looking out for other hazards which may pose a threat near the playground is also vitally important. One of these which the city takes seriously is the threat of insects such as mosquitoes and bees.
May until September, bees are a real issue in all of our parks.
If you're not on it with trash collection, you have stuff like juice boxes get in there, stuff that's sweet,
Absolutely.
and it actually attracts them there. So by doing daily trash collection like you guys are doing, you're actually limiting your exposure to that. You won't ever see it because the accident won't happen, but if that prevents one kid with some kind of allergy from getting stung. The standards involved in playgrounds, they're not a legal standard to go by. There is one part of it that is a legal standard, and that's the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, that says that the children who are going to be expected to use the park do have to have a means to be able to access the equipment. I like what the City of Lexington here has done. They've actually installed a ramp that actually, you can see it actually fits in with the barrier itself, and is designed to give special needs children the ability to access the equipment that they want to access. And
While not legally required, the ASTM has developed standards that are recommended to reduce injury and liability. For placement of signage identifying the age appropriateness of the equipment, supervisory requirements, warnings regarding hot play equipment, and warnings regarding installations over hard surfaces, which are not required if the playground is over protective surfacing.
We do take a lot of pride for the small municipality that we do have. We take a lot of pride in trying to keep everything updated.
For more information, visit our website at www.vmlins.org.